Good evening. My name is Bill Halldin. I'm a candidate for the Assembly District 6. First, I'd like to start off talk a little bit about myself. I am married to my wife Susan for the last 21 years. We have two mostly great children who keep us hopping. My daughter, an 18-year-old freshman in college at Wheaton College in Illinois, so we're just getting used to not having her around all the time. And my son, who's 14, and an 8th grader at Springview Middle School in Rockland. I have been a small business owner in Placer County for the last 16 years. I started a business by myself and have grown it to 8 employees. It's a public relations firm, and we serve about 20 clients. And those 20 clients give me a constant window into what it's like to do business in California. Not only do I see it for my business, but I see it through their eyes as well. And the unfortunate view that they have and that I have is that California is an increasingly difficult place to do business. And for that reason, we see in our district alone companies picking up and moving out of state. We've seen Waste Connections in Folsom move to Texas. That was a local company staffed with local people who had gone to UC Davis, Sac State, and they picked up and moved their entire operations to Texas for tax reasons, largely, but also regulation. And the sad part about that is that we tax people to such an extent that it's worth it to them to leave a great state like California because they just can't take it anymore. And I've been going around talking to businesses, and I hear kind of horror story after horror story about how hard it is to do business in California. I talked to the CEO of a company with 500 employees. He told me all the lawsuits he faces that are frivolous, but that he ends up paying millions of dollars to settle. And so I asked him, why are you still here? And he said, my wife's family is here, I have to stay here. So we keep him and his 500 employees for now, but the reality is our economic future hinged on somebody's family staying here? I mean, that's essentially what's keeping this company with 500 employees. It's time for the state to wake up and to take a whole different direction as it relates to business, because business is the key to our future. It's the key to future jobs. It's the key to economic prosperity. And every time we have a business, we drive a business out of this state, we're essentially taking that future, those opportunities out of state. And let's face it, they're not going to come back to California. But what we need to do is change to keep those that are here today. So one thing I'd like to, for an employer in California, nothing quite tells the story like the poster that every business is required to post in their place of work. If you're an employer and you look at this poster, this is basically an outline of all the ways you can get in trouble in this state. And you've got to say to yourself, why would anybody take that risk? And so what are people doing? I spoke to a business the other day where they used to have 135 employees in this state. And they got hit with a lawsuit for not giving their field employees proper lunch breaks. These are field employees who aren't even in the office, and they were held responsible for giving them lunch breaks when these people are on their own. So what did they do? They cut the staff down to 30 employees, just the bare necessity, and now they just outsource what they need when they need it. So we lose kind of the stable employers. To what end? There is no good end for this. And the bad ending and the horror of what used to be the California dream is that we see people leave for Texas, leave for Nevada, leave for Arizona. A company in Roseville, Ravi Onyx, was founded in Roseville, but eventually they moved most of their jobs to Arizona. It's a promising young startup company, and they do have some staff here in Roseville still, but for the most part they picked up and moved to Arizona. So, my goal if I'm elected is to begin the process of turning around this state. I actually am optimistic that I think there are some Democrats who get that we can't stay on this course because it's a course that will lead us to no jobs and no opportunity for the future. And that's not good for Republicans, and it's not good for Democrats. And I do think people are beginning to wake up to that. Just a few other things about me and my background. I'm currently the president of the Sierra College Board of Trustees. I've also served in a number of community organizations, been on the boards over the year of the Rockland Chamber, the Sacramento Hispanic Chamber, the Roseville Chamber, and several nonprofit organizations. And I'd like to take my experience both in government and in the nonprofit and business community and put that to work for everyone in Sacramento. Just to talk a little bit on this day before Veterans Day, one thing I'm perhaps most proud of at Sierra College is how our college has not only put out the welcome mat for veterans, but we've rolled out the red carpet for veterans at Sierra College. We have a 3,200 square foot veteran center, which I think is probably the nicest veteran center you would find at a community college. We put them in the nicest building on our campus. And that's the kind of welcome that our veterans deserve. Veterans can go there and they can get help wading through the VA's stack of paper in order to enroll in college. They can get help finding a job. They can get help with their studies. You know, I was talking to somebody just before coming to here today, and the idea of a veteran going from the battlefield and using their hands all day to sitting in a classroom and taking 15 credits, that is a dramatic, change in life for those veterans. So we've got to work with them and provide the support that we can, and I'm proud of what Sierra College has done. We currently serve 800 to 1,000 veterans, which we get veterans from all over the state now who come to Sierra College because they know it's a great place for veterans. And we were the first community college in California to tell any returning veteran, regardless of what their last address was, that they could come to Sierra College and pay in-state tuition. As far as I'm concerned, anybody who's protecting my freedom, I don't care if they're living in Florida, Afghanistan, or Iraq, if they decide to come to California, they've been fighting for us. And it's time for us to welcome veterans. And our board at Sierra College, basically said, we're not waiting for the state to fix this, we're going to fix it ourselves. So I would love your support. I will be a conservative voice for this district at the state capitol and look forward to working with you in the months ahead. Thank you.